It took nearly 15 years for police to arrest New York real estate heir Robert Durst in the killing of his best friend and another 5 to bring him to trial. After just 2 days of testimony, jurors were sent home in March 2020 when the coronavirus closed courthouses. On Monday, more than 14 months later, the jury is returning to Los Angeles County Superior Court to see if they can complete their assignment. If so, it could be a first for the U.S. legal system. Durst's lawyers say the length of the stoppage is unprecedented. They have repeatedly sought a mistrial on the grounds that the delay has harmed his chance of a fair trial in the country's highest-profile case to be postponed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Durst, 78, has pleaded not guilty to murdering his friend Susan Berman, who was shot in the back of the head in her LA home in December 2000. Prosecutors say he silenced Berman before she could tell police that she helped him cover up the killing of his wife, Kathie, in New York in 1982. Judge Mark Windham has called back the panel of 23 jurors, including 11 alternates, and plans to question him Monday to see if they can go forward with the case. The defense has submitted a list of proposed questions, including whether jurors read or heard about the case during the break and remain impartial, and whether COVID-19 altered their lives in a way that prevents them from serving another 4 to 5 months. The pandemic has disrupted courts nationwide, leading to delays and proceedings via videoconference rather than in person in many instances. Many defendants awaiting trial were freed because of concerns they would get infected by the coronavirus in jail. What makes the Durst case so unusual is that it was halted after the jury, winnowed from over 400 people, had already been sworn in and heard 4 days of opening statements and 2 days of testimony. Defense lawyer Chip Lewis said Durst's legal team had done extensive research and couldn't find trial delays even close to that imposed on this case. Scott Sundby, a University of Miami law professor, said he looked into trials that were halted because of earthquakes and hurricanes and hadn't discovered a break as long as in the Durst case. The length of the pause itself is less likely to be a problem because it was not anyone's fault, Sundby said. But he said Windham, who is probably eager to keep the jury intact, would have to be vigilant when screening jurors to make sure they hadn't been tainted in any way that could violate Durst's right to a fair trial. The motivation is most likely that, we spent a lot of time and effort picking a jury, and unless I become convinced that this jury cannot be fair, we're not going to go through that process again, Sundby said. Durst, an eccentric worth more than an estimated $100 million, is being held without bail.